Hi guys, Lisa here again, taking you for your Pilates for All class. So today we just need two things. You might need a hoodie just to put underneath your head, especially if you have any tension in the head, neck and shoulders. I would recommend having a hoodie just to put underneath your head when we're lying down and just wrap it up so that it gives you a little bit of support, and a cushion. So I'm going to take this size of cushion and fold it over. So our first exercise today we will be using a cushion, so if you want to grab one now. If you have a bit of a firm cushion, that'd be great, but if you have like a pillow or a big kind of floppy cushion, just make sure that you're able to fold it over, because you do need a bit of support for your low back. Okay, so we're going to start class today lying down. So if you set your hoodie up for underneath your head, and then I'm going to turn. I'm going to fold my cushion over, I'm going to put it in half, and I'm just going to keep it to the side. We're going to need that there in a minute. Feet just about hip distance apart, tennis ball distance between your feet, between your knees, and you can slowly lower yourself down to lying down, having that underneath for the bit of support for the neck and head. Now I'm just going to start with some pelvic tilts. So I'm going to place my hands on my hip bones, and all I'm going to do from here is roll my hip bones forward, creating a bit of space in my low back, a bit of an arch in my low back, and then I'm going to roll my hip bones back, planting my back down on the mat. Then again, I'm going to roll the hip bones forward towards my pubic bone, and then I'm rolling my hips back, planting my back down. So hip bones towards your pubic bone, hip bones towards your belly button. Now find your breath. I would exhale on whatever part of the movement you find harder. For me, I find it harder to arch my back, so I'll exhale forward and I'll inhale as I draw back. Now, everyone's different depending on how you're feeling. You might find it harder to pin your back down. So I'd recommend an exhale there and an inhale on the easier part. Now, the reason I always recommend to exhale on the harder part is just because your core can tighten and help you. And with an inhale, you get a little bit of recovery. Now, you should really feel the difference between when your hips are rocked forward and when they're rolled back. And I just want you to find a place between the two that's balanced. So you're not completely arched, not completely pinned. You've heard this the last few weeks. If you imagine some blueberries in your low back, you don't want the blueberries to be rolling around, you don't want them to be squished. So you want to be able to just fit maybe your fingers into your low back. Once you have that space there, just place your hands on your hip bones. We're going to lift the hips up and down. So I'm going to lift my right hip up, drop my left hip down. Then I'm going to drop my right hip down, lift my left hip up. Now, some people might find this challenging to feel the difference between left and right. So if you feel one bum cheek lower as the other bum cheek lifts, and then changing. It's really a movement in the hips. So if you are focusing on lifting and lowering your bum, just place your hands on your hip bones so you can still feel the movement in the pelvis. And then what you want to do is find that place between left and right that's balanced. So I'm completely balanced left to right. I'm not completely arched, I'm not completely pinned in the back. And if I had a bowl full of soup resting on my belly button, it'd just be resting there. It wouldn't be tipping over or anything like that. It'd be able to stay nice and steady. And that's your neutral pelvis, okay? So whenever we're doing our ab work, we're lying down here in this position, we want to make sure that we're in that position there, that we're not pinning or hugely arching. Now from here, what I'm going to do is just lift my bum up, and I'm going to place this folded over cushion underneath, between kind of my bum and my low back. I want to have a good bit of support there, okay? So have a little wriggle around, make sure that you're comfortable on it, you're not too shaky, okay? You do need a bit of a firm cushion so that you have that bit of support. Once you're on the cushion, again, just make sure the hip bones are balanced. You don't feel like you're rocking your hips forward or you're rolling them back. You want to be in that nice position with the hips. So have a little wriggle around. You can rock the hips forward and back on it or side to side, and just make sure that they're nice and balanced, okay? Once you're here then, you can bring your right leg into tabletop, and we can bring our left leg into tabletop. You can place your hands by your hips and just reach your legs towards the ceiling or towards the sky, point your toes. Now from here, I would recommend popping your hands on your ribs, just so we can feel the breath. We're going to start with a single leg drop. I'm going to inhale as I reach my right leg forward, keeping it straight. I'm going to exhale as I bring it back. Then with an inhale, my left leg forward, and with an exhale, bring it back. Now don't worry if you're not going as far forward as me. Just reach as far forward as your body will allow, as feels good and challenging for you, but doesn't feel totally uncomfortable, because we're just warming up. As your leg is lowering down and you're inhaling, you're opening out your hip. As you're exhaling and bringing the leg back up, we're getting a lovely stretch into the backs of our thighs, our hamstrings. So if it does feel a little tight, don't panic. And if you find it really, really hard to have the legs straight, you can have a little bend in the knees. So you can always be here and reaching the leg forward and bringing it back if needs be. That's absolutely fine. If it just feels a tiny, tiny bit tight, I would recommend try for the straight leg and you will ease up into it. So it's a big inhale forward and an exhale back. Now as the legs are moving, and it's a fairly straightforward move, let's take the focus into the breath. As I inhale, reaching my legs forward, I should feel my ribs expand in my hands. As I exhale, bringing the leg back up, my ribs melt down towards my mat. So it's a big inhale forward, ribs expanding. A big exhale back, ribs melting down. And I always like to keep my eyes closed for this sequence so I can really focus on the movement of my ribs and the breath. Now, as much as one leg is going forward, let the other come back towards you. Get a little bit more of a stretch in the hamstring. Still inhaling forward, ribs expanding. Exhaling back, ribs melting down. We'll go for another 4. And 3. And 2. And last one. Meet the feet together at the top. Now stay with your hands on your ribs. Point the toes, re-straighten the legs. The next move is going to be a little bit more challenging. We're going to move both legs together. So imagine you just have one leg, keep the legs glued. Big inhale, I'm going to reach both of my legs forward. With an exhale, I'm going to bring both of my legs back. Now this move is a lot more challenging because we're opening out all of the hips, we're using all of the hip flexors. As we come back up, we're stretching those hamstrings. So if you need to go smaller for this one, you absolutely can. I always go a little bit smaller for this, just about halfway down, and bring it back up. And as you do more repetitions, you might find you can go a little lower with it. Now again, we're still inhaling forward. As you inhale, you'll feel all that space open up from your ribs to your hips. As you bring the legs back, you'll close off that space between ribs and hips. So big inhale forward, feel that stretch all the way through the body. Exhale back, feel that space closing off. Now, like I said, we're using all of the hip flexors in this movement. And your hip flexors insert up at the top of your pelvis, where your belly button is. So feel that stretch from the belly button reaching the legs forward. Imagine it's your belly button pulling your legs back up. Big inhale forward, opening out those hips. Big exhale, feel the belly button draw back up. Feeling those ribs moving. Just keep that focus on the breath all the time. And I know I'm giving a lot of cues here today, so don't panic if you're getting lost. If at any point you think, I have no idea what's going on, I don't know what to focus on, there's so many things, always just bring it back to the breath. A big inhale forward and an exhale back. We'll go for 2 more. And last one, reach and hold. We'll hold there for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees come in towards the chest. Give yourself a little baby rock from side to side. Now, if your cushion has moved or anything, just readjust. You want to still have that bit of support in your back and under your bum. Because when we have it in the right place, it takes our back out of movement, so it's all core. Bring those legs back to tabletop when you're ready. We're going to do a move called dolphin next. You can keep your hands on your ribs, focus on that breath. I'm going to bring my knees in towards my chest, then I'm going to drop my feet down. Scoop my legs down, reach them forward. Straight legs come back over my hips. Then again, knees to chest, legs scoop down, they reach forward, they come back over my hips. Now for this one, I like to inhale forward and exhale as I bring the legs back. Now, everyone will be different in this movement, depending on where you're tight and maybe a little bit stronger. Again, exhale on the hardest part of the movement for you, and inhale on the easiest part. When you get really efficient in this movement and when your hips feel really good, you should be skimming your feet off the ground. You'd be going that low. Now don't panic if you're not going there today, but just scoop the legs down as much as your body will allow. When you bring those legs back straight, bring them back over the hips, knees into the chest, feet scoop down, they lengthen forward and then back up. Again, we're still just opening out those hips and stretching your hamstrings. Your core will be wakey up here as well, so don't panic if the core is awake. We'll go for 4. And 3. And 2. And the last one. Reach the legs out about halfway down. Now, if halfway feels too challenging just to hold here, bring the legs a little higher up. They can even be straight over your hips if needs be. Now from here, I'm going to do a small flutter kick. Just 1 foot up, 1 foot down. The bigger the kick, so the more space between your feet, the easier it'll be. The smaller the kick, the harder. So I'm going to do small little sharp kicks. And I'm going to take those kicks like a walk up towards my face. And then I'm going to take those kicks like a walk all the way down. I'm going to try and go lower than where I started. Again, we're using all the hips here, all the lower abdominals. So find your breath and just do a long controlled breath here. Just because the feet are moving fast doesn't mean we need to start doing a really fast panting breath. Keep control all the time. Big inhales through the nose and exhales through the mouth. 10 more seconds here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Knees in towards the chest. Baby rock side to side. Again, if you need to readjust your cushion, go for it. Next move we're going to do is leg circles. So I'm going to bring my legs straight up from my hips, point my toes. I'm going to start with my left leg first. Keeping the leg straight, I'm going to bring my left leg towards my face. I'm going to bring it out to the side, down around to the front, and then back over my hip. Now I'm going to go for my right leg. It comes towards my face, out the side, down around to the front, and back over the hip. And that's all you're going to do, just alternating the legs in leg circles. Again, if you're struggling to keep the legs straight, do this in tabletop and just focus on your thigh bone moving around. Because when you do leg circles, all you're doing is moving your thigh bone around in your hip socket. So if a straight leg just isn't happening today, tabletop just like this is fine. If you start in tabletop just to warm up, you can always switch to straight leg as you go. As much as the leg is coming towards you, reach it forward, making sure that we're doing a nice big circle all the way around. Find your breath. You might like to exhale as you do your circle, inhale as you come back towards center. We'll go for another 2. And last one. Now I'm going to reverse the circle. I'm going to go forward first, out to the side, back around and over the hip. Forward, turn out and around, back over the hip. Again, I would exhale as I do my circle, and I would inhale as I come back towards center. I still have my hands on my ribs, so I'm still trying to feel that breath moving in my ribs. As I inhale, I'll feel my ribs expand in my hands. As I exhale, I'll feel my ribs melt down. And by keeping the breath down in the ribs or towards the belly, we're taking all the tension out of the head, neck and shoulders, and we're moving that breath down the body. We're taking it a little deeper in towards the core to make it work a bit harder. We'll go for another 2. And last one. Meet the feet together at the top. Now from here we're going to do double leg circles. So I'm going to bring both feet towards me. I'm going to open out left and right. Spiral out, down and around. Up to center. When I open at the top, I'm going to turn my big toes out. So you can start in a V at the top. So big toes turned out, open out, down and around. Now when I do that, when I turn my big toes out, I turn on my inner thighs because I'm turning my hips outwards. We're externally rolling the hips, which means our inner thigh gets to work and strengthen. Now if you have a glance towards your legs, and just make sure both legs are doing the same size circle. So if you're like me and you have one side that's a good bit stronger and more mobile than the other, it's really important to watch for this, to make sure that you don't have one side of the body running away from the other. Balance all the time. If that means going smaller on the side that's more flexible, go for it. If you need to do a higher up circle, so not meet the feet together so low down, go for that. Any adjustments you need to make to stay in the exercise, do it. You can go slower, higher up, and just make sure that the circle is matching. Now we're going to change direction. I'm going to lower my feet first. Open at the bottom, out and around to the top. Now when I open at the bottom, turn your big toes in towards each other as you do the circle. And then down through center. Big toes turn in, around, and down through center. Now my lower abdominals are really turned on here. And my outer thigh and outer hip are getting the work because we're internally rolling the hips by turning our toes inwards. We'll go for another 4. Exhale as you circle, inhale as you go through center. For 3. For 2. And last one, meet the feet together at the top. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Give a little baby rock from side to side. Now we have one move left to do here. So again, if you need to adjust that cushion, go for it. Bring those legs up through center. Now this move is going to be a good bit more challenging. It's the last move we're doing up on the cushion, so don't panic. If you need to switch to tabletop during, go for it. It's a leg circle again, but we're going to do it with our legs glued together this time. So if you're switching to tabletop, remember it's the movement of the thigh bones around. So your thigh bones will move from your belly button to your hip bone, to your pubic bone, to the other hip bone and around. With the legs straight, it's the same. Over the hip, the pubic bone, the other hip bone, the belly button and around. If that feels good, take it wider. Go towards the front of your mat, the side of your mat, towards your face and around. Now as you're doing this, try and keep your shoulders down and relaxed. Try and keep your breath nice and calm. I would exhale as you spiral around and inhale as you come back to center. Deep breaths. You can always go for a smaller circle, a higher up circle to make it easier. But again, have a look towards your legs. Make sure as much as you're going to the right, you're coming out to the left. As much as you're going forward, that you're coming back. When you're ready now, we'll reverse it, go the opposite way around. Keeping that breath calm all the time. Big inhales, big exhales. Remember, we can always switch to tabletop, or if we're in tabletop and you're finding it really easy, for the last 3 repetitions, go for straight legs. Last 2. And then we're going for our last one. Bring the knees into center, and then you can drop your feet down towards your mat. Lift your bum up and just take that cushion out from underneath you. Place it to the side there. And then from there, you can open your legs out left and right. Open your hands out left and right. We're just going to let both knees fall towards the right. And we'll look to our left. Now make sure your feet are spread pretty wide here, at least shoulder width apart, so that we get a big twist in the hips and a twist in the back. Look in the opposite direction to what your knees have fallen. Knees come to center with an inhale. With an exhale, drop them to the opposite side and look in the opposite direction. Inhale, knees to center. Exhale, opposite side. And again, inhale to center and exhale to change. You can bring the knees to center, then bring your feet in side by side. Now for the next one, you can keep the cushion under your head or the hoodie under your head if you need that bit of support, or you can take it away. I'm going to take it away for the next bit, but we will be lifting the head, neck and shoulders up. So if you are someone who has a bit of tension in the neck, or if you sit at a desk a lot or you're on your phone a lot, keep that hoodie underneath your head, okay? As the abs are already warmed up, we're going to do our little bit of core work now. So what I'm going to do is take my hands behind my head and have my elbows out wide. I'm going to bring my right leg into tabletop. I'm going to bring my left leg into tabletop. Now again, I'm making sure I just have that little bit of space for the blueberries in my low back. I can just fit my fingers in the low back before I take off. I'm going to keep those elbows wide. Nice big inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to lift my head, neck and shoulders up. I'm going to look at my belly button. Inhale, I'm going to release back down. Then again, big exhale as I curl up, and inhale as I release. Now if you imagine you had a really tight hoodie on and you were trying to take it off over your head. So you scoop your shoulders up and then you release them back down. You're looking towards your belly button, so we're keeping that kind of length in the back of the neck by curling. Trying to get all of the shoulder blades up and off of your mat. And we'll go for 3, for 2, and last one. Lower down, drop the feet. Readjust the back. So recenter your back. Elbows wide. When you're ready, right leg tabletop, left leg tabletop. This time we're going to lift and hold. So lift the head, neck and shoulders up, hold it there. Now if you can't hold it up, you can leave the head, neck and shoulders down and just rest like this, and we'll do the leg work, okay? Otherwise we're staying up in flexion. I'm going to inhale, I'm going to hinge at the hips, tap my feet down to the mat, exhale, lift up. So I'm not reaching my legs forward, I'm hinging, tap, and bring it back. I'm going to lift my shoulders a little higher, I'm going to hinge, and back. We'll go for 6. Inhale forward, exhale back. For 5. For 4, nearly there, elbows wide. For 3. For 2, inhale forward, exhale back. Last one. Knees in and rest. Give yourself a small baby rock side to side. You should really feel the core is switched on now. Again, you can always leave the head down if you're struggling to stay up high. Right leg tabletop, left leg tabletop. Hands behind the head, elbows wide. Nice big inhale, exhale, curl up. This time we're going for single leg. Inhale, right leg hinges forward, exhale back. Inhale, left leg, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Remember, it's a hinge. I'm not lengthening, I'm hinging. I'm going to get my shoulders up a little higher. I'm going to keep moving. Inhale forward, exhale back. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Knees in and rest. Now if you're leaving the head, neck and shoulders down for the next one, I'm going to recommend you use your hand to reach forward to the opposite leg as it hinges forward for the next one. Otherwise, if we're lifting up, we're going to take those hands behind the head again, legs on tabletop. Nice big inhale, exhale, we're going to curl up. This time, as I hinge my right leg forward, I'm bringing my right elbow to my left knee. Bring it back. Left elbow to right knee as I hinge and bring it back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Twist. If the head, neck and shoulders down, reach opposite arm to knee. We'll go for 5, for 4, 3, 2, last one. Knees in and rest. You should really have felt that in the core. You could always stay on for an extra couple of reps if you wanted to work a little more. We've worked all of the front of the core, all the stabilizing muscles in our internal muscles in our core, and now we've worked our obliques. So we're going to give the core a rest for a while. We're going to move on to shoulder bridge. So I'm just going to bring my heels a little closer towards my bum. I'm going to have my feet just about hip distance apart. For hip distance, you only need a tennis ball distance between your feet and your knees. I'm going to keep my heels closer to my bum because I always want to feel like my heels are moving towards my bum, or that I'm really pulling them towards my bum, okay? Place your hands down by your hips, roll your shoulders back, and then relax. I'm going to take an inhale, roll my hips towards my belly button. Then as I exhale, I'm going to press down into my feet. As I do, my hips lift. My knees lift up and they reach forward. Open out my hips. Try to keep your chest relaxed at the top. Keep your breastbone relaxed. Lovely big inhale. And then as I exhale, I'm going to roll down. Peel through the spine, disc by disc. Coming through the ribs, the mid-back, the low back, and finally my tailbone. I'm going to inhale, roll my hips towards my belly button, plant my back on the mat before I take off. Exhale, pushing down into my feet, rolling up. As I roll up, I want to make sure my hips are balanced. You can always pop your hands on your hips, make sure that they're balanced as you come up. Inhale at the top, and then exhale, peeling down. I'm peeling through center. I'm not veering off left or right or lowering more on one side than the other. Perfectly through center. Inhale at the bottom, roll the hips towards the belly button. Exhale as I come up. If you imagine your spine was hanging off your bum like a pearl of beads, we want to be hanging down this kind of banana shape. You want your chest to be heavy and then rolling down. When we flare our chest, we're just putting a lot of tension into the upper body, so that's why we want to just keep it nice and relaxed. And then in your own time, you just want to roll up and roll down. As gently as I'm rolling down and focusing on peeling through my spine, I want to roll up just as gently my tailbone, my low back, my mid-back, lower ribs, upper ribs. Lowering down, upper ribs, lower ribs, mid-back, low back, tailbone. As you're going up and down, try your best to keep your bum switched off. So I'm not squeezing my bum and keeping it relaxed, so the backs of my thighs and my back can strengthen a little bit more. When we squeeze our bum, sometimes we have a tendency to arch our back or put a lot of tension into our low back. So you want to avoid that and just keep the bum relaxed. We're just going for 3 more. Nice and gently up, nice and gently down. Last 2. Inhale at the bottom, exhale as you roll up. Inhale at the top, exhale as you roll down. My last one, I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to hold it there. My hips are nice and balanced. From here, all I'm going to do is place my right foot on my left knee and then lower my right knee so it's in line with my left. I'm still going to keep the hips up so my hips are balanced. Just place your hands on your hips, make sure they're balanced. From here, I'm going to roll down evenly through the spine, peeling all the way to the bottom. Roll the hips towards the belly button. I'm going to peel up. We're just challenging the stability in the hips, and the muscles in the glutes are going to get a little bit of a stretch. They're still going to be switched off. It's actually going to be a little bit harder now to turn them on. This is just a little release for them. We'll go for 2 more. Hips balanced all the time. And last one. When you're at the top, place that foot down. Spread the toes on that right foot. Give yourself good base and support. Left foot comes onto the right knee. Left knee in line with the right. Hips are balanced. I'm not dipping into that left hip bone, nor am I lifting it really high. My hips are balanced. And I'm going to peel down evenly through the spine. Getting that nice stretch into the glutes as I do this. Switched off, remember that. Peeling up nice and gently. And peeling down. If you feel like the hips are kind of wobbly or you're dropping or lowering into one side, just place your hands on your hip bones, make sure that they're still balanced. We just have 2 more. And then going for our last one. When you're finished, place that left foot back down and then bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a small baby rock from side to side. Now from here, you can place one foot down, keep the other knee in towards your chest, rock back and sit yourself forward. Now from here, I'm going to come up onto the bony parts of my bum. I'm going to spread my feet nice and wide, okay? So I have my feet about shoulder width apart here. My heels are pressing into the mat, so my feet aren't going to lift up. My toes are spread. I'm giving myself really good base and support. Find the bony parts of the bum. We all have them. Have a little wriggle around and find them and sit up tall on them. Roll the shoulders back. So I want my spine to be nice and straight to start. Hands come out in front of the chest. Thumbs up towards the ceiling. Because whenever we have our hand up, your bone rolls outwards. So that's why we always do a thumbs up. Just we're externally rolling the bone and going with those bone rhythms there, the natural bone rhythms. From here, I'm going to take a big inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to roll off the bony parts of the bum. Tuck my chin in, scoop my tummy back, and I'm going to roll back, sink my chest back. Now, as I'm rolling back, I'm keeping my arms reaching forward. I'm going to inhale at the bottom, exhale, roll back up, stay in that C-shaped position until my shoulders are over my hips. Then I'm going to stack the spine, sit up tall, roll my shoulders away. This is called C-curve, so you're going for a C-shaped position. Inhale at the top, sitting at the bony parts of the bum. Exhale, roll off the bony parts of the bum. Scoop the tummy back, scoop the chest back, reach the arms forward. Lowering back as much as feels comfortable for you. Inhale at the back, exhale, roll back up. Wait until my shoulders are over my hips, sit up tall, roll the shoulders away. Then again, big inhale. Exhale, roll off the bony parts of the bum. Scoop the tummy back, reaching the arms forward. Try not to let your shoulders come around your ears here. Keep them relaxed. All the way back and then rolling forward. Sit up tall, roll the shoulders away. On our next one, we're going to scoop back into our C curve. We're going to hold it here. I'm going to inhale, reach my arms up over my head. Exhale, back down. Scoop forward and sit up tall. Sitting on the bony parts of the bum, big inhale. Exhale, rolling off the bony parts of the bum. Scoop my tummy back, scoop my chest back, reach my arms forward. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands come down. Take an inhale and then exhale, roll forward. Next one, we're going to go back and hold. Scooping back. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, bring it down. You want your arms to pass by your ears as you reach up. We're going to go for 4, for 3, for 2. Last one, reach and hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come forward, roll forward, and you can rest your head between your knees. Reach the hands forward or reach them back behind and get a good stretch. Now from here, we're going to come up to standing. So I'm going to stand towards the back of my mat. From here, I'm going to walk my hands down and pop them towards the front of my mat. Spread my fingers nice and wide and spread my feet out to the back. Now from here, you want to find a flat back position. So I'm going to sink my head between my shoulders. I'm going to sink my chest towards my thighs, looking between my knees to the wall behind or to whatever's behind. Try and feel that stretch up the back of your thighs. And now from here, I'm going to put all the weight and focus into my left leg. I'm going to draw my right knee in towards my chest. Then I'm going to reach the leg up into the sky. As I do, I open out into that hip bone. Hip bone comes back to center. Knee comes into my chest. I can round out my shoulders now. But as I reach my leg up, I want to flap back. Reach the leg up, open out the hip. Hip comes back to center, knee comes in. You could round out. Leg goes up, open out. Hips to center, knee comes in. Leg goes out, flap back, reach up, and bring it back in. So what we're doing is getting a stretch in the back as we're opening out the hips. We'll go for 3, for 2, And last one. Hold it up there, open out into that hip. Hips come to center. The leg reaches all the way forward. So bring the foot as far forward now as you can. I want my ankle under my knee. You can bring your left hand in line with your right foot now. From here, and keeping that back leg straight, if you need to modify, drop the knee down onto the mat. Otherwise the leg stays up. Reach your right arm up into the sky. Now right elbow comes in, side your right foot, and then reaches back up. Bit of rotation for the spine as we stretch out the hip. You might inhale as you come down, exhale as you reach, and try and keep the shoulders away from the ears. Go for 3, for 2, and the last one. Hand comes down, reach the foot back, and we'll go back into our flat back. So sinking the head between the shoulders, the chest towards the thighs, trying to have your legs nice and straight. Now we're putting the weight and focus into the right leg. Left knee comes in. You can round out, but flat back as it reaches up. Open out the hip, hip comes to center, knee comes in, round out. Reach up, flat back, open out, hips to center, knee in. Reach it up, open out, hips to center, knee in. We'll go for 4. For 3. For 2. Rotate those hips. Last one, reach and hold. Open out those hips, point the toe, and then reach the leg forward. Foot all the way forward, back leg stays straight. Right hand can come in line with that left foot. And again, if you need to modify, the back knee can go down. Otherwise, keep it up. Reach your left arm into the sky. You can bring that left elbow down inside the knee, towards the ankle, and then reach it up. If you can't get your elbow down to the mat, don't panic. Go as close towards it as you can. As the elbow comes down, send that opposite knee out. And then reach up. You might inhale as you go down, exhale as you reach. For 3. For 2. And last one, reach and hold. Pushing through your right hand all the way up to the fingertips of the left. Breathe. Hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left hand comes down. Left foot goes back. Drop down to your knees. Now spread your knees nice and wide. Feet come together. And you can reach your hands forward. Sink the chest down towards the mat and take lovely long deep breaths. Spreading your knees a little bit wider gives you a little bit more space in those hips to drop them down, and sink your chest as low to the mat as you can. Reaching your hands as far forward as you can. And now walk your left hand out to the left of your mat and walk your right hand out to the left. You should feel a really big stretch across the right side of your body now, all into your lats, all through the sides of your body. Walk your hands back to center and then walk them out towards the right. Walk your left out to the right. You should feel that stretch now all through the left side of your body. Bring the hands to center, and then we can bring ourselves forward to lying on the mat. Now from here, we want to pop one hand on top of the other. Elbows are going to go wide. I'm going to switch on the muscles in my legs, so I'm going to squeeze my fronts of my thighs, my quads, squeezing the backs of my thighs, my bum, and pointing my toes. So my legs will be lifted off the mat slightly, just as they're activated. I'm going to rest my head down onto my hands. Now, keeping your hands down on the mat to start, I'm going to take an inhale. As I do, I'm going to nod my head up. So if you imagine you were nodding your head, lifting your forehead up, lifting your chest up, your breastbone up, and then exhale, lower down, like you're tucking your chin in towards your chest and relaxing. With an inhale, nod your head up, lift your chest up, keep those legs on, and then lower, tucking your chin in, relaxing down. And then again, nodding the head up, lifting up, and then lowering down. One more like this. Now on the next one, keep your hands connected to your forehead. Nod your head up, lift your chest up, elbows stay wide, lower down, tuck the chin in as you lower. Then again, I'm going to nod my head up with an inhale, lift my breastbone up, lift my ribs up, and I'm going to lower down. We'll go for 3. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you rest. For 2. And last one. And relax. Bring your hands to the sides of your head, or to the sides of your shoulders, and then you're going to push yourself up into a table position. Have your knees just about hip distance apart, have your feet flat, reach your hands forward. From here, I'm going to open out the bony parts of my bum to the wall behind me, and I'm going to sink my chest down. So just like child's pose, the stretch we just did, but this time our bum is up. We're opening out the pelvis, we're getting a big stretch into the pelvis. So those bony parts of the bum, they open out left and right, spread them out, and take your breath up into your bum. Every inhale, feeling the bony parts of the bum opening out, and with your exhale, they can come back to center. Now let your chest sink down a little more. You can reach your hands further forward if you need it. And just breathe in this stretch. Relax the shoulders. Release your arms away from your ears. And breathe and be here. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Rock yourself forward, and we're going to come around to the front. Our last exercise for today is going to be mermaid. So we're going to start in a Z sitting position, which is having my front foot tucked into the front, my back foot out behind. Now if you find it way too challenging to sit in this position, if your hips are really tight, that's perfectly fine. Sit with your back leg out. If you're sitting like this and it's just too much for this hip, have your feet a little more forward, you can cross them over. If you can sit like this, great, you can sit like this instead, okay? Just halfway when we change legs, you change which leg is on top also, okay? So there are your modifications. You have one leg out, you can keep the legs crossed over, even just with the feet out to the front. Or if we're going for the full Z sit, you have your left knee to the front, right knee to the side, with the foot to the back, opposite foot to the front, okay? So pick your position, set yourself up, and whatever position you're sitting in, you want to be on the bony parts of the bum. My back bum cheek is lifting a little bit, so the one with the foot to the back, don't panic if that happens, but try to have them as close to the mat as you can. Sit up nice and tall, roll the shoulders away. To start, I'm not going to twist, I'm just going to slide the body side to side. So with an inhale, I'm going to drop my left elbow down. Exhale, reach my right arm up and over. I'm making sure my shoulders stay away from my ears, and I'm trying to lift this part of my body up, stretch between my ribs and hips. The top arm, I'm imagining it's reaching up and out of my shoulder socket, and it's reaching and reaching and reaching for the wall that's there in front of it. So it's a really big stretch. Now I'm going to inhale, draw a rainbow with that top arm. As I exhale, my opposite arm can come up and over. Again, I want that space between my shoulder and the ear. I want my ribs and hips to be separating here and ribs moving out to the side. My breastbone's going to stay facing forward because I'm not twisting my body, I'm sliding it from left to right. Now I'm going to inhale, draw a rainbow with that left hand, elbow comes down. Exhale, right arm up and over. Feeling that stretch, reaching the arm out of the shoulder socket. Holding for about 2 to 3 seconds before I switch to the opposite side. Remember, stay facing forward all the time, no twisting, sliding. If you want to imagine that you're inside a toaster or stuck between 2 panes of glass, so your body can only switch, sliding left to right, not twisting. We go for another 3. For 2. And the last one. Bring yourself to center, roll the shoulders away. Bring those hands out in front of your chest. Now I have my hands about shoulder width apart, so just a little bit wider than chest width apart. Thumbs up towards the ceiling again. And this time I'm going to try to keep my bum cheeks down as best I can. Your front knee, so that'll be your left knee here, try to keep that down on the mat. It will try to lift, so you're as your best, try to keep it down. Big inhale, arms come up, lift my breastbone up. Exhale, this time we can twist, turn towards the right. Reach those arms forward, flex the body forward, reach to the left, come up and around. So you really want to see your shoulders moving, your chest moving. You flex and extend towards the ceiling, flex to the side, flex to the front, flex to the opposite side, move all the way around. Take your breath with you. So I like to exhale as I move around and inhale as I come back towards center. 2 more in this direction. And then I'll switch. I'll go to my left, reach it forward, right, and all the way around. Exhaling as I go around, inhaling as I come to center. Trying my best to keep my knees down on the mat as I go around. Last 2. And last 1. Drop the hands down, roll the shoulders away. Now from here, all I'm going to do is switch the position of my legs. So now I have my right knee to the front, my left foot behind, right foot to the front. I'm going to find the bony parts of my bum. I'm going to try and plant my bum cheeks down, lengthen through my spine and roll my shoulders away. With an inhale, bringing my right elbow down, exhale, left arm up and over. Keeping that space between my shoulders and my ears. Big inhale, top arm up into the sky. Exhale, back arm up and over. Remember, keep the breastbone facing forward all the time. Big inhale, arm comes up, drop the elbow down. Exhale, opposite arm up and over. Big inhale as you reach and exhale as you switch. Feeling all that space between your ribs and hips on one side of the body. Stretching. And then switching. Lengthening on one side of the body, shortening on the other. Last 2. And last 1. Bring it to center, roll the shoulders away. Bring those hands out nice and wide, roll the shoulders back. From here, reach the arms up, flex the body back, reach towards the right. Flex the body forward, reaching to the left, coming all the way around the world. Moving the chest, moving the breastbone here as you go around. Again, I like to exhale as I move around and inhale as I come back towards center. Going for another 2. And last 1. And then I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to go left, flex forward to the right and around. You really want to feel your ribs move, your shoulders move, and that breastbone changing direction, going up towards the sky, going to the side, going to the front, all the way around. Last 2. And last 1. When you finish, pop your hands down on your knees, roll your shoulders back. Now we'll just ease the body out just a little bit. We'll come into our table position. You want your wrists ever so slightly forward of your shoulders, knees under your hips. Spread your fingers, give yourself really good base and support here. From here, I'm going to inhale, tuck my chin in, round out my upper spine, tuck my tail in. As I exhale, I'll release my tailbone up towards the sky. Lift my head through my shoulders, open out my collarbone, lift my breastbone up. Inhale, tuck my chin in, round out, breastbone towards the ceiling, scooping up. Exhale, releasing out, bum opens out to the wall behind, chest opens out in front. 2 more, scooping up, releasing out. And last 1. And release. From here, you can lift up onto your feet. Have your knees bent and just let your hands go down towards your feet. Tuck your chin in, look between your knees to the wall behind. Have your knees bent enough that you can get your chest onto your thighs, okay? If you can get your chest onto your thighs with straight legs, great, go for that. Now from here, you want to shake your head no. You want to nod your head yes. I'm going to take my left elbow in my right hand, my right elbow in my left hand. I'm going to bring my right elbow across to the outside of my left knee. Then I'm going to bring my left elbow across to the outside of my right. And I'm just going to swing my body side to side. Easing out my low back, easing out my spine, my shoulders. Still feeling really, really heavy. So as you swing left to right, imagine there's weights attached to your arms. They're pulling them down. And now let those arms hang down nice and heavy. Let your head hang down nice and heavy. Spread your toes. Give yourself good base. Now every breath you do, I want you to try to lengthen your legs, keeping your chest close to your thighs. So you're going to start to push into your feet. When you feel like you can't get your legs any straighter, let your chest peel off enough to get those legs straight. And then very gently, we're going to place the spine 1 disc at a time on top of your hips. Rolling up. Keep those arms hanging down until the shoulders are upright. Once you stack the shoulders up, roll them back. Take a big inhale, reach your arms up into the sky. Exhale, open out and around. And 1 more big breath up and out. And you're all done. Well done.